First drop down, and that is why we test it with lures. Initial crash dive felt Pollacky. Not massive, but it's a fish. There's my leader. I'll tell you what, for a first fish of the day, that ain't too bad. Wow, go on. Oh. For the first fish of the day, yes please. It ain't a monster, I know that, but that is why we test the wreck with lures before we put the anchor in, because you always pick up a few bonus fish. I'm only in shallow water here, so he's going to go back hopefully. Going to torpedo him in. Powers away. And that ain't a bad start to the day. Well, that is exactly why, when we're anchoring a wreck, always stick a couple of lures over it first go. 99% of wrecks have got pout on them, that's just a given. So that's why I don't put baited feathers down to check out the life that way, because I'm not interested in pout. I've got my bait. I will get some pout later for the congers, but I'm more interested in getting a few bonus fish when I'm working out my drift line than I am catching a bit of bait, because I can do that at anchor anyway. And for the first fish of the day, not a monster, but respectable enough to make that worthwhile. So that was a lovely little pollock, and he went back perfect. So hopefully we can get a few more. There's one. There's one straight off the bat. Another one. And that's another pollock. Straight away. Hopefully I'll get a chance to put the anchor in. Because that's second drop, and that's going to be another pollock. Not as big as the last one, granted, but let's have a look. It is another pollock. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Is it? Yeah, it is. And that has engulfed that. Wow, that has really swallowed that. Oh, it wanted that. That there is another pollock on the second drop. The wreck suddenly wasn't even in, and he has engulfed that. Check this out. I thought for a second I had a coalfish. It looked a bit darker. He has nailed that. Wow. Not bad, eh? Yeah, and he wanted that. Well, can we make it free for free? That is the next question. Hopefully we can. That wasn't even on the wreck, that one. Well in front of it. Good sign. Sometimes a fish will just be on one part of the wreck, and other times they won't even be on the wreck. And there it is now. Yeah, sometimes they'll be in front of it. Sometimes they're even 200-300 foot off the back of it. There's a bite, there's a tap. Oh, come on. I did have the camera down on this wreck previously. Lots of pout. I did see a lot of pollock on it, and a lot of eels. Yeah, fish on. That's a better one. That's a better one. That one's taking line, that one. That's a better fish. Better fish, this one, guys. That has got some weight, and I think this might be a net job, which is up the side of the boat. Yeah, good fish, this one. Oh, that has got some weight to it. There's my leader. What have we got here? Oh, good pollock, guys. It's a good pollock. Oh, that's a good one. Christ, that's a big fish. Oh. I must have my net ready, because that could have easily been lost. That is a stunning pollock. Absolutely stunning. Get in, that's a lovely fish. That there ain't a bad way to start the day, is it? That's a good fish. That's gonna be a good 9, 8, 9 pound, that one. Again on the rhubarb and custard. I love it, I love it. That's why you check a wreck first. I could have easily just come and put the anchors straight in and I'd have missed out. 3 drifts, 3 lovely pollock, and they're getting bigger. Wow. Right, let's see if we can do 4 for 4. That last fish was stunning, lovely fish. Really was a lovely fish, that one. I might even put the Westing camera down in a minute. Looks like quite a nice wreck to do it on. Alright, there is a fish. There we go. Ah, 4 for 4, if I can get it in. Wow. Okay, we've dropped on a few pollock here, guys. Obviously, I was hoping to catch a few bonus fish, but 4 for 4, that's a few fish. This one's not big, but yeah, it's respectable, right? It could be respectable. It is another pollock that has engulfed that rhubarb and custard. Another one. There we go. He has absolutely engulfed that. This ain't bad fishing, this, for the first go of the morning. We'll get him unhooked, and I think I might put the camera on. Again, he's swallowed that. He has nailed it. I'm being brave and I'm having a go with the Westing camera. For 5 for 5, hopefully. Might backfire this, might not. We shall see. Is it a coincidence that we've done 4 drifts and 4 fish and I've put the camera on and we haven't got one? Who knows? I'll go around again, I'll try it again though. I have rushed the setup of this, so the trace is a little bit short really. It's twice now with a camera and twice no bites, whereas before fish are dropped. 4 drifts, 4 fish. No camera, 2 drifts with the camera, no fish, so perhaps I need to make the trace a bit longer, or who knows. Back down with a Westing. I'm hoping it caught that pollock. If it has, I'll put it in now, but if not, I'm going to try and get another one. But I had a pollock on camera, and when I looked to have a look at the camera lights, they weren't on. I'm hoping it's got it, because it would be a lovely little take. Then yeah, the 2 videos showing the take of the big pollock and then me showing you the big pollock, I think they've been corrupted, which is brilliant. GoPros are like me in a 100-metre sprint race sometimes, they're absolutely useless. Jump. That's a better one. Oh, come off. That was a better fish. Come off that one. What happened there? Fish on. Fish on. Fish on the camera. Not fighting like a pollock, that. Of course, it could just be a granddaddy pout, but it's a foul up pout. It's a pout in the tail. Dropped to the bottom, straight in the tail, bless him. We have had some lovely fish to start the morning off with. Absolutely lovely fish, and I'm hoping I've got some on camera as well. Yeah, what a start to the morning. That is why I don't just throw an anchor in, or I always fish a wreck with lures that I'm going to be putting the anchor in on, because you never know what is on it. You never know. Still got a bit too much tide running really to put the anchor in. It's a small enough tide to anchor straight away, but all the time you're on fishing like this, you know, you're picking up a few nice pollock. There's no point putting that anchor in. Might as well keep fishing on the pollock and wait for the optimal tide where it drops right off. Well, there is the wreck just starting to come in. Fish. Yep. Fish on. Fish on. Nice one. Got a fish on the camera, guys, again. Pollacky, this one. There's my leader, what we got? It's in the light. Well, it's a nice pollock, guys. On the camera as well. It's a nice pollock. Go on. Go on then. Oh dear. Wow. Western Escape Cam. And that is a Sidewinder, Rhubarb and Custard. And that is a lovely little pollock. Look at that, again on the rhubarb. Smashed it. Well, for an eel trip, we ain't doing too bad. I think we're on 7 pollock now. Yeah, 7 pollock. I've got a couple of bad files from the filming, but hopefully it's all come through. But yeah, 7 pollock, including that one of about 9. So yeah, not too bad really. We've got 1.6 knot of tide. So I will let that drop off just a little bit more. And then I will put the anchor in and try and get some eels. And that'll be for a couple of hours. Oh, there's a fish follow up then. Yeah, that'll be for a couple of hours and then I'll go wrecking again. But that ain't too bad. I'm happy with that, how that started off. Fish. Ooh, wreck is there. There's a fish. There's a fish. There's another one. Oh, it's just loaded, this wreck, guys. It's absolutely loaded. Oh, good fight, that one. What is this? Felt like a pollock. I'm going to find out, because there's my blue. I've got the J braid on the reel so I can see the different colours. I think they're 10-metre lengths. I think it'll be a pollock. Yeah, I think they're 10-metre lengths. So I know when the blue comes on, I've got my leader any minute. And there is the leader. Still got some weight to it, that. What is this? Come on. Wow. Oh, it's another nice one, guys. Another nice pollock. He's still got fight in him. I should have my net to hand really, because I'm going to lose one in a minute. But that is another. Oh, it's another big one. I'm going to net that one. That's another nice fish, guys. This is absolutely brilliant fishing. For an eel trip, this is brilliant. We are on it. It is another absolutely stunning pollock. And again on the rhubarb, smashed it down. There we go. So all the technique here is it's just there's a fish. It's a 12-inch wrecking boom, which just keeps the weight and the line straight out of the boom. Got an 8-ounce lead, it taps it. It's an 8-ounce lead with a 6-inch rhubarb and custard from Sidewinder on it. All I'm doing is dropping down to the bottom, coming up about 15 turns. It's not a particularly big wreck, this one. So coming up about 15 turns, and then dropping it back down into the wreck. Now these fish, they live in amongst the wrecks. Obviously around it, up and around it as well, obviously. But you've got to have your lure down there amongst it, and then bringing that lure, as you're reeling, you're bringing that lure up and over the top of the wreck. And the idea is that they see it and they come out and snaffle it, which is what they do. Now I come a bit lower on this drift. Didn't see the big peaky bit where I've been getting the fish. A minute, no. Yeah, in the wreck. Ah, caught me. First one of the day. Gone. Caught me out that time. Well, that was our first casualty of the morning. Boom and boom weight and lure. But that's okay. We got our leader back, which is always nice. And let's put another one on. We're good to go again. But it's only 7:15 now. We was in the, what was we in? I think we was in the 5 AM lock. We've had nearly 10 pollock before 7:30. And that ain't too shabby, I know. So I'll take that. Take that all day long, and the wreck is there. I'm going to start thinking about putting this anchor in shortly. Fish took that on the way down. Yeah, by sort of 8:30, the charter boats and all the other fleet will start thinking about coming out. I quite like to be anchored and settled by that point. There's a fish. Yeah, there it is. Come on, take it. Yeah, there you go. Oh. Yeah, there we go. So, I don't know how much you saw of that. Oh, it's just come off. It's just come off. But I had something tail tapping it, banging the end of the lure, didn't commit. I didn't panic, I didn't stop, just carried on reeling and it took it. But it came off, it wasn't big. But we'll go in again. Sorry, going back to what I was saying last drift. If you get a take when you're wrecking like this, just constant reel, you don't strike, you just keep reeling, the hook sets itself, and if it doesn't commit or you lose it, just keep reeling, because more often than not it will come back, especially pollock. They'll hit something once and then they'll come back round, hit it again. Bass are the same, and I've seen that behaviour on camera as well as the experience down the years. There's the wreck just coming in, so I'm just going to drop it back down again now. You have to try and visualise what your lure's doing, and my lure was already quite high up in the water as that wreck started showing. So I wanted it down a little bit closer, because then I can then bring that lure out of the wreck, hopefully to where the fish are. So yeah, it's just up, down, up, down, up, down, until you get a fish or you get to the end of your drift. No dice, go again. I'll check that speed when we get in there as well, because it feels like we've slowed down. So like I said, I would quite like to get this anchor in and get some baits down. do what I build this session as. I'm tangled up, that's why. Yeah, do what I build this session as and get some eels on board. All the time you're catching this sort of pollock, not leaving that. The setup I'm using today, it's a custom build rod. It's a 1220, but it's very tippy, very soft. If you ever hear me or anyone else mention terms like tippy, it just means a soft tip. And you need that when you're wrecking, because if you do get a fish, which we have done today, as you've seen hopefully, the soft rod on the end, it cushions the dive and runs. So if you have a rod that's a bit more solid, or that is overpowered for the job, too bulky, etc., when that fish crash dives, it hasn't got as much give in the tip, it can almost bump and pull the hook out. Obviously your drag, your reel and that lot plays a part in it as well, but you want a soft rod. There you go, I followed that. That's almost on the surface, that is. That's almost on the surface. That just goes to show what I said about reeling. And keep that keep reeling. I'm on the blue bit of the braid now, and here's the leader. And whatever this is, I think it's a pollock. It is. It's a nice pollock, and that was almost at the surface. There we go. Well, he spat the lure, but that's what we've been getting them on this morning. 6-inch rhubarb and custard from Sidewinder. And that is another pollock. Now, I had that bite just above the wreck, and we come off the back of it, and I just kept reeling, kept getting little taps, and I was on the blue bit of the braid, and I know that's the 10-metre length before the leader comes in, and it took it halfway through that blue braid, so that was, you know, right near the surface, and he's followed that up from the wreck all the way to the surface. So just constant reeling when you get a bite and it doesn't connect, because they will follow it up. Off, he's gone. Let's go again. Pollack number 10, and it's not even up past 7 in the morning. Right. If these pollock keep feeding, I will keep catching them. I build this as an eel trip, but you don't run away from good pollock fishing, and they're a good average stamp as well.
Radio check. Your comms are weak and distorted. Over.
Yeah, when you're catching pollock of an average stamp, sort of 5-6 pound with the odd bigger one thrown in, I'll keep fishing on that, especially for where I am. But if it drops off, then of course I will put the anchor in. Fish. A lot of the people that follow me aren't subscribed. That's just how YouTube goes. Same for most people. But if you're not subscribed and you're liking the fishing, there's a lot of it on my channel, and I do work hard for the videoing and the trying to catch fish. So do think about hitting the like button and give me a little follow. Got lots of good stuff coming up, as always. I know everyone says that, but we do fish hard on this boat. Got turbiting to look forward to this year, and of course the autumn black bream. We've got some big eel fishing this year as well, hopefully. I wouldn't mind trying to get a big eel on the boat this year. I only had a 50 on the boat last year, and that was Dino. But yeah, lots to look forward to, so do smash the subscribe and tune in. Rex there. Well, it's certainly starting to slow down a little bit, the fishing. I think I'll give it one more go, see if we can't pull another pollock out, and then I'm going to have to get this anchor in, I think. And by the time I get the baits chopped up and the tackled up, that tide would have dropped off and we can get an hour and a half, 2 hours on the eels. That's a solid plan, I think. Well, if we don't get a fisher or take this go, I am going to get that anchor in. Eel fishing is what I came out to do today, and that is what I'm going to at least attempt. I can go back wrecking afterwards, is what I'm telling myself. It's just so hard when you start finding a good dollop of fish to do anything other than catch that dollop of fish. Right, there's the wreck. So just dropping it down again. They're going to come, hopefully, oh, there's a fish, hopefully bring that lure just over the top of the wreck where those fish are. Something should be looking at it about now, hopefully. Back down and then repeat. I've only seen 2 other pleasure boats out today so far. One went bombing off early doors, and the other one's outside of me now. I don't particularly want them to see me on here, because when I do a report later, they've seen me on the wreck, they know which one it was I had to fish on. It's a constant thinking game, fishing. You have to constantly think about what you're doing, but also what other people are doing. When you put yourself out there online and you post your reports and your videos up, I like to do a detailed report when I get in. And I hamper myself doing that, because if anyone's seen me on a mark that day, they've only got to read the report when I get home and they can see what I've had. There's the wreck. But yes, you have to constantly look around you to see who's about or who's where. Otherwise you end up giving your stuff away. Just driving along before I put the anchor in. Absolute scourge of our seas, these are. If you see one, fish it out. And if you're on land thinking this is a nice idea to do for your loved ones, please think about where it ends up. Because it ends up in the sea, gets around birds' necks, beaks, whatever, fish life gets killed. Not cool. Okay, so we're at anchor now, and I've got us bang over the wreck. I'm probably a bit closer than I want to be, really. I like fishing in front of a wreck slightly, and I have been on top of this one before, and it's snag central. It's loads of little like claps deck, and you just end up hooking up. But running ledger, Big luminous muppet, and I've got a large cuttle head on there, complete with tentacles for bait, and I've got a pound of lead. And I'm going to get down and just see how we're going. I like to do a couple of things when I'm conger eel fishing. Scent is the name of the game. I like to have 2 or 3 rods out to start with, all big baits, ideally fresh mackerel, bloody mackerel. Haven't got that today, so it's cuttle. Get the scent in the water, get the eels on the feed. The more baits you got in to start with, the more scent's going in. And then when it starts getting a bit hectic, you can bring 1 or 2 of those rods in and just fish with a 1. But scent's the name of the game with eel fishing. So we're going down, yeah, like I said, cuttle head, straight down into the wreck, fingers crossed. And then on my second rod, we've got a 1 hook wrecking rig, paternoster, whatever you want to call it. 200-pound mono this is. I crimp my conger gear, I don't tie knots, I crimp it. Just the way I've always done it, never had a problem with it. Just my personal preference, you can obviously do yours however you want. But yeah, 1 hook on this one. This one's going to be a bit more up and down, whereas the flowing trace, the running ledger, that's going to be a bit more streamed out. And this one's going to be a bit more, just slightly out of the wreck, I'm hoping, because obviously it stands up. Now, I haven't made the weight, the weight's maybe 60 centimetres from the hook. So I'm hoping that if it's a bit snaggy, then the wrecking rig will be fine, and then I'll just swap the other one over if the running ledger over if it snags up. So that's the plan. Hopefully we can try and snaffle a couple, but the tide's still ebbing quite hard. Ideally another hour's time, I reckon we'll be in the money. Right, now for the bait for this one, this is a Chris Martin special. For those of you local remember Chris Martin, really famous conger eel fisherman. I've got the body of the cuttle that's now missing the head because it's on the other rod, and I've made 2 large triangle shapes out of the body of the meat, and I've basically made a little skirt out of it. So you flap up 3 or 4, I had a bite then, 3 or 4 cuts in the bottom of it, and you leave the top bit uncut, so where your hook can go through there, and basically all these little flappy bits, they flap about in the tide, bit of added attraction. So that's what the bait is on that one. And we're going down, straight down again with that. Fish on guys, fish on! Oh, conger on guys! Get out of that wreck. That didn't take long. Get out of that wreck, come on. I hope you can see this guys, but we got a big eel on. That's a nice eel that. Get out of that wreck, come on. Oh, that one's only been down 5 minutes. Oh dear. That's what we've come for. Looks like a nice eel, guys. So this is on the wrecking rig. And that bit of cuttle that I showed you. Oh yeah. That's a good eel for the first one, guys. Wow, it's a big eel. Jesus. Where's that glove? Now they say the small ones come out first. This is a good eel, this one, for a first eel. This is a good eel. I'm going to get him on hook with a T-bar. He's a big angry eel, so I'm going to try and show you. Actually, I hit him quite early on, so he's just hooked in the top. But you put the T-bar on the bend of the hook, and then with your left arm you hold the line, you pull down with the line, up with the T-bar, and it should bounce him off. Like that. He's made a mess of that rig already. As you can tell, it's good fun when you get a big one. There we go, there we go. He's there, he's there. Hopefully you can see this. Obviously he's got a blip bug come out of him, but that's a good eel. That's what he's done to the rig. They just spin and they just get crocodile death roll. And that rig is now useless. But on the bottom of these, I fish a weak swivel. So I fish a traditional snap link. Because I'm fishing in the wreck, you want a rotten bottom on there. And I may even have seen some damage on my leader that I'm going to have a look at. But he's got in that wreck and I've actually managed to bully him and pull that out. So we've lost the lead, but we've got the rig, what's left of it, and that nice eel in. Now this was obviously snagged up in there, and if I'd not had that weak link on, we probably would have lost a whole lot and he'd be in there now and I'd be waiting for him to come out. But Cox and Rule, 10-0 meat hook, can pull a boat with those things, they're absolutely brilliant. That bit of cuttle that I spoke about, the flappy cuttle, I mean, look at that there, that's still good to go. 200 pound crimped mono. Yeah, that was a good 30 pound eel all day long. All day long. So another rig on, go again. There we go, bounced it out. Just had a lovely bite on this one. Just going to take it in my hands, tighten up the drag. There it is, I can feel that, that's a conger bite. And my rod tip's now pointing down towards the water. Wreck that, but there is an eel in there. Ah, parted off. That was in the wreck, that was, had an eel on it. That's parted off, that. Never mind. So the trouble with being in the wreck is that your gear gets worn and torn, and that's parted off. Never mind. You'll get lots of little rattles. I've had the camera down on this wreck before, and there it is, alive with pouting. And they rag your baits, but what happens is little chunks fly off and the scent gets in the water and the eels come out amongst the pout and just have the baits. So you'll get loads of little rattles, and every now and then the rod will just arch over. After a really promising start on the eels, actually anchoring turned out to be quite poor. One eel that we had right at the start, and then another lost one. And I've been sat here now for a good hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, for just watching pout rag my baits. Now, having seen the layout of this wreck underwater, I do, like I said earlier, there's lots of big square deep caverns in it, and I think I'm dropping into one and the scent's just washing into the wall and the eels can't get out and around to find it. That's my theory on it anyway, having seen it underwater, which I'm privileged to have done, obviously on the underwater camera. So I think next time I'll sit further forward in front of it and draw the eels out. But anyway, gonna haul the anchor now, and I might hit another wreck or two. Still only 10 o'clock, so I've got all day left to go really. But I've had my fill of fish, you know, 10 pollock and a nice eel. But I'll see how I feel. Let's get this anchor up and then we can go from there. I'm just gonna see if I can snatch a couple more fish off the same wreck. Just hauled the anchor. And we've still, surprisingly, got a bit of ebb tide left. Still making 0.8 knots, so I'll make use of that. See if I can't snatch one or two more fish. And then because I've been cuttling today, well, sorry, using cuttlefish for conger, the boat's in absolute state. So I'll take that opportunity to get in, wash the boat down, and get home and chill for the rest of the day. Hopefully with one or two more fish to the boat. There is the wreck and there's a fish. Might have been a pout. No, there we go. Oh, no, let go. Fish there still. Good sign. There is a couple of wrecks not too far from here, and we're blessed with wrecks here on the south coast. We've got thousands of them, but there's literally two more wrecks a mile down the road from this one. So if this doesn't produce, I have hammered it a little bit this morning. If this doesn't produce another fish or two, then I can just move. I would like to end on a fish. So yeah, if we don't get one, I'll move on shortly. Where I would have liked to have gone, a dive boat has gone a bit further outside of me, but yeah, dive boat's gone and jumped on it, so we'll leave them to it. Not quite sure how well an angler catching a diver on a 12-20 would go down well with, but they probably fight well. Oh, different wreck this one now. We have lost pretty much all of the tide, so I'm not holding out much hope, and I haven't got my jigging gear with me, otherwise I'll be on the slow jigs now. Slightly deeper, and it sits north to south, this one. Give it one or two goes, see if we can't snatch a fish. If not, then we'll be going home. Nice early day. Yep. Fish on, guys. Fish on. Oh, hello. Hello. What have we got here? Oh. Very high up that, very high up off the wreck. We didn't have much tide, or we got no tide, so I had to position us right on the end of the wreck. We just crept over it, and it took that really high. What is it? I'll tell you what, it's another nice pollock. That is another nice pollock. Absolutely perfect hook hold again, look at that. Nailed it. That's another nice fish, that. You go back. Back he goes. Let's see if I can get another one. Like I mentioned a minute ago, normally with a wreck setup, you would start up tide of it, you'd work out a drift line with a fresh track, and then you'd have a crack at it, and then once you've got your drift line, you've got it, you just keep going over and over. When you lose the tide, you can't do anything really other than drive up to the wreck and position yourself over it. We're creeping over this now at 0.2, 0.3. So although that's nothing, you are moving over it, and it gives your lure a lot of time over that wreck. Okay, normally I would slow jig now, but I haven't got it with me. But you can't help but crawl up to the wreck and go over it. Normally you'd have to go around it to not disturb the wreck, especially if there's other people on it. But I'm the only one on here today, and I want to be over the top of this wreck, otherwise I'm not lure fishing properly. So we've nudged up to it, got over it, bang, another bonus pollock. It's 11 for the day now. We might snatch one or two more, you never know. There's one there. There is one. Oh, that's a better one. Oh, that's a better one. There we go. Proof is in the pudding, it works. Felt like I better fish that one, but it's giving up the ghost already. There's my leader. Under the boat. What is it? It's another absolutely cracking pollock. Oh, wow. Again, another beautiful fish. Look at that. Bang, nailed it. No tide. Another fish. And because we're not moving, we're still over that wreck, I'm going to go again. We're only in 100 foot of water here, so none of the pollock are blowing. I've got one that had a donk on the deck when he come over. He didn't like it, so I've kept him. but everything else has powered back away. Another good thing with this coloured braid, the Diver J braid, is when you get a take, you can look at what colour you're on, and then you'll know to make sure that you're coming up to where the fish are in the water column. Because sometimes you can not bring your lure high enough. Your up and downs can be too shallow. So when you know you get a fish, I know mine was on the yellow, and mine's coming into the yellow now. And you can go again. Fish on. Didn't realise it'd been hooked, that one. I felt the extra weight for a while there. I didn't realise it had been hooked. Might be a pout. It's torn between a very small pollock and a pout there, but I felt the extra weight come onto the gear. There was no fight. Another pollock. The most lackluster pollock of the day. Still not a tiny one. $13. Yeah, I'd say I was reeling in, and I felt the extra weight come on the gear, so it felt heavier. I just give it a little jerk, just thinking I might have had a cutter on there, and it fought back. Pollock number 13, and we're still over the wreck. And again, that's 3 fish and 3 drifts now. 13 pollock and a nice eel. That's what we ended up on today. There's fish still feeding here. I could stay out all day. I've just knocked out a couple more, obviously, to get to 13 from the 10 that we had. But I'm going to get in. I've got loads of editing to catch up on. Boat comes out the water next week as well, so I need to get some bits off the boat, get it all ready. But thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, please think about it. I do work hard on this boat. And yeah, leave a little like and a comment. Tell me what you liked, didn't like about the video. And I will see you all again in the next one.